Games That Suck, where we explore and complete games that rank the bottom of the list from each console. We're starting at the last page of Metacritic and working our way forward to see if these games are actually terrible. We're also choosing to exclude sports titles since they're inherently bad and essentially the same game throughout the years. Join me in this journey to see if these games are truly bad or if they're just misunderstood. We're going to start with the bottom 50 PlayStation 2 games, then move on to another console. Just a disclaimer here, I'm running these games on an emulator, so I won't be able to do every single game in order. Not all the ROMs of these games work since they're obviously not in high demand. Okay, so we're getting deeper into this series, and I'm hoping these games will soon get better, or at least less repetitive. The fourth game we're going to be completing is going to be A Dog's Life. This game was also awarded a 3.3 user score, so let's see what it has to offer. You're introduced to the main character, Jake. He's a dog who enjoys a simple life in the country, chasing birds and peeing on fences.
This is my life. No school, no chores, no clothes. How cool is that? Ah, yes, it's great being a dog. Watch this.
He's got a crush on this girl dog named Daisy, who he tries to impress with his confidence and farting skills.
Oh, yes, she will be mine. Daisy?
After this display of affection, Daisy promptly gets caught by some dog catchers on her own property. Jake tries to stop them, but winds up getting caught too. Fortunately, they don't close the door all the way as they drive off. Jake flies out the back, but Daisy remains in the truck.
My head.
The main quest of this game is to now find and rescue Daisy.
No, Daisy. Must rescue Daisy, but how?
But first, we're confronted by a boy who challenges us to a race to the top of the hill.
Oh, brother, people are so insensitive. But I need to get back in shape if I'm going to look for Daisy.
The game now puts you in control of Jake and prompts you on some of the controls. Triangle puts you in smell-o-vision mode, which is the bread and butter of this game, and likely the mode you will be in for the majority of the game for a few reasons. In this mode, you can see an array of different colored scents. Each of these has a unique function in the game and serves as the quests for each zone. Purple scents are in every level. There's 50 of them to collect.
The ground is a lot more interesting.
Red scents bring you into a minigame with a fellow dog, and they teach you a new trick after playing a game of Simon Says.
Go for it, guy.
Yellow scents start a peeing minigame with the other dog, where you compete to cover 50% of the playing field.
Corners to gain fields and show that dog that I rule. 3, 2, 1, go.
Green scents start a race where you follow a path of treats against another dog that leads you to a finish line, and you must collect over 50% of them to win.
To feed.
Pink scents start a game of tag with your fellow canine, where you're it and you must tag them before the time runs out.
He doesn't know that I can catch him. 3, 2, 1, go.
Orange scents are a game of tug-of-war.
Doggies, start your engines. 3, 2, 1, go.
and cyan scents are a digging game similar to the peeing game, but with digging.
No problemo, baby. Jakey has superior bone power. 3, 2, 1, go.
Lastly, there are blue and violet scents that are very similar. They're a time trial to collect all of that color scent, but the main difference between the two is that the violet scents are all visible right away, where the blue scents pop up one after another. Most of these missions award you a bone in the end, but others grant you access to use the other dog in the level, which is necessary to complete some of the other missions since they have different characteristics. The bones in a dog's life are this game's form of puppy guarding. You can't progress certain points in the game without having a certain amount of bones. This game is pretty neat for its time because it's sort of an open world RPG that allows you to go anywhere, but not do everything, unless you have the proper items. You also have a jump button, X, an action button, O, as well as a scent locator button, which is R1. Before we continue, I would also like to mention that there are up to 4 hidden bones in each section of the map that you can access in various ways. There's one person per map section that has a mission for you.
You are the man. Here you go.
Bones that you can just dig up.
Who cut the cheese? Bone-erific.
And minigames you can play to earn extra bones, such as the game of basketball in the first level.
Oh, yes! Sniff my butt! This dog is bad! Hey,
A
now,
Dog's Life
that's
is pretty
what I
much a
call
giant
class.
scavenger hunt game with multiple smaller hunts within it. The ultimate goal is to gather enough bones to pass the evil Doberman that's guarding the dog pound. It's an interesting concept for a game, and I think it executes it pretty well, and obviously doesn't take itself too seriously. The main character is a dog, for Christ's sakes. So let's begin the journey, shall we? Like I said, we start in a little country town called Clarksville, being challenged to a race by a boy to the top of the hill.
Hey, that's Mr. Jake to you, Stink.
We meet up with him, then he says he wants you to follow him a little further, so you
Are you
oblige.
kidding? Does a dog poo in the woods?
Okay, here goes. Ready, Jake?
Less talk, more action.
Follow me, Jake. You okay? You look a little funny.
The dog nappers mentioned a place name. What was it again?
I've got to go see Gramps. Mom says he's as crazy as a nudist at the South Pole, but I think he's cool.
After that, he grants you your first bone.
Why
Delicious.
don't you run down to the farmhouse and play with Lopez, the Chihuahua? Maybe you can practice your racing technique with her. I'm off to Gramps now.
From here, you basically have free reign to go where you please and do what you want. But remember, we need all the bones we can get so we can get past the big bad Doberman.
That's what it's all about.
You can pause the game at any time to track your progress in each section of the map to ensure you've collected all the bones in that area. Some bones end up in a dog bowl near a doghouse after you complete the correlating mission, so don't forget to pick those up. This introduces you to another super important mechanic, the save. Initially when I started this game, I didn't get very far and figured the game would just auto-save as I played, because I haven't gotten far enough for the game to prompt me. But the only place to save your progress is by walking into the doghouse and taking a nap. There are 4 overarching locations in this game: Clarksville, Lake Minnewawa, Boom City, and the Dog Pound, which is in Boom City, but it's its own area. Clarksville and Lake Minnewawa have the most sub-locations and bones to collect, so I ended up not needing to complete Boom City in its entirety before moving on to the Dog Pound and finale. There are 6 locations in the Clarksville area: the farmhouse, the watermill, the field,
Ah! Curse you, you crappy ridiculous crows.
the chicken
Not
farm,
a chicken chaser, are you, boy? Get rid of that flapdoodly fox, and I got something for you.
the village,
Rock-a-bye baby in the treetop. Oh
and the
my,
center.
What a cute little doggy woggy. I've got a bone here for you, sweetums. Do you want a nice bone, honey bunny? Well, you can't have it. Ha ha. Now beat it before I lose my temper.
These locations are home to a grand total of 49 bones and are fairly easy to collect in totality. Some missions task you with gathering 3 to 4 parts for a human that really aren't worth completing, since they only award you 1 bone and play a 30-second cutscene that you can't skip every time you bring them an item. And you're a dog, so you can only bring them one at a
This guy's been
time.
watching too many mad scientist movies.
The farmhouse is home to Lopez, the Chihuahua, that can access a bone inside the house and bring it to you. The watermill is home to a Dalmatian that is a strong swimmer so he can catch a goose that stole a bone. The fields dog is an Aussie that you need to herd some sheep into a pen. The chicken farm has a bulldog that's small enough to collect some newspaper and some chicken coops for the human in the area. A Jack Russell lives in the village, and you need him to bring a love note to his owner's daughter.
This is so cool.
And in the center, there's a nasty shop owner who needs to be scared by a Doberman to release her bone to you.
Here, take this bone.
As I mentioned earlier, this is a theme throughout the game, so I won't go over it in each large area. I just want to kind of give you an idea for what these other dogs are useful for. Lake Minnewawa has 6 locations as well. The cafe, the ski slope, high road, hotel, mountaintop, and mountainside. It was interesting going into this location since it's covered in snow, like it's winter, but it's the only area like this, so it seems out of place. If you manage to complete this entire area, you'll end up having a total of 95 bones to your name. I missed 1 or 2 here, but didn't feel like going back since I knew I had a whole other area full of them. Lake Minnewawa introduces a dog catcher minigame that triggers when you piss off a butcher, and he calls the dog catcher to apprehend you. The dog catcher sends his Doberman after you, and all you have to do is run away until he gets tired. That's it. Pretty simple, really. If he catches you, though, you lose a bone, and he buries it somewhere in the map for you to find and retrieve.
It's no good, he's too fast. I can't be bothered with this.
Once you feel ready to move on from this location, you must ride a train to get to Boom City. Boom City has 3 locations to explore: the station, the park, and the center. 4 if you include the pound. I didn't spend too much time in this area since I had enough bones to get by the Doberman when I arrived, so I carried on past him and into the dog pound.
It's that Clarksville dog. Come back here.
I want to take a moment here to catch you up on the subplot of this whole game. There's an evil woman, Ms. Peaches, who owns and runs a cat food company, and also really hates dogs. She has a whole plot to capture the dogs from the local area and turn them into cat food. She's employed 2 dog catchers, Wayne and Dwayne, who we met at the very beginning of this game, and were the ones who took Daisy away from us. Wayne is hyperallergenic to dogs, so he doesn't care for them too much, while Dwayne loves dogs, but is too dumb to think for himself. They chose the wrong pup to mess with, though, because Jake is one determined doggo.
Worse than usual? Oh, yeah. When I brought in my load, she blew her top. Said Boom City dogs were filthy. Said she wanted a nice, clean Clarksville dog to be the first to go in the big machine. I think she wants to hurt them nice doggies, Wayne.
Oh, for pity's sake, Dwayne, stop sniveling.
Would you care for a tissue, Wayne? They're extra soft.
I hate this job.
Okay, let's get back to the game. In the dog pound is where shit gets serious. You must rescue 3 dogs trapped in cages by collecting 3 keys in the small area, bringing them back one by one to the cages to set the dogs free. All the while, a Doberman is chasing you.
I have a very bad feeling.
It's a pretty simple task, to be honest, unless your game glitches out like mine did and sticks you in the middle of a polygon. Anyway, after you free the dogs, the dog catcher quits his job, and you can proceed up to the house that's now guarded by the Doberman who chased you.
Computer games. Killer, you guard the entrance to Miss Peach's place.
He will run away scared if you have more bones than him.
Oh, sorry, Miss Peaches.
You disgust me, you filthy little man.
Yes, Miss Peaches.
But you two aren't complete idiots. In fact, you have done well.
We have?
One of those Clarksville dogs is perfect for my purposes. Nice and clean, lean yet tender. She will make a soft and sensitive treat, sliced, diced, and mashed into a delicious pate by the big machine. Once I have tested it on her, full production will commence.
Can I ask a question, Miss P?
Dwayne, no!
That's all right, Wayne. Miss Peaches is in a generous mood today. Ask, and you shall be answered.
You're not gonna hurt that little doggy, now are ya?
Now, we're to the finale, where shit gets even more serious.
Ordinary cat food.
The house is actually the cat food factory, and Daisy is about to be turned into cat food.
Daisy,
Not if we can stop it.
she can't hear me. Daisy, I've got to turn off the big machine. But
Daisy's on a conveyor belt, and we have a series of buttons and levers we need to push before Daisy reaches them, or else she'll be chopped, smashed, or ground into a pulp. Each button or lever has a path or obstacle between them, so you need to move fast. The last thing we must do is throw 3 wrenches into one last machine and put a stop to this madness for good.
I did it. I rescued Daisy. Oh yes, she will be mine.
Thought you'd outwit Miss Peaches, didn't you, you disgusting creatures? Now you will both be transformed into nice, gooey food for my precious kitty cats. Get your doggy asses into the big machine.
Speaking of food, I had beans and cabbages for supper. Take this, cat lady. Canning Miss Peach's cat food.
I'll get you for this, you horrible hounds! I'll track you down! I'll slice you! I'll dice you! I'll mash you! If it's the last thing you see me!
Slicing, dicing, mashing. Miss Peach's is cat food.
A Dog's Life is a charming little game that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's full of fart jokes and sexual innuendos that you don't notice until you hear bonerific for the 3rd or 4th time. Sure, it's a collectathon through and through, but the environment changes, dog switching, and unique missions kept it from being a stale experience. I personally enjoyed playing this game and think it deserves a better score than it has. Sure, its movement mechanics can be a little clunky, and certain polygons can trap you in place, but that's to be expected from a game made in 2003. I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend this game today, but I would give it its flowers back in the PlayStation 2's prime. This game does not suck.
Now she is mine. See you next time.